folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. I want to show you a kind of minimalist survival kit that I carry with me. Maybe not all the time, but I do have it available to me. It's usually stored in the vehicle. And if I'm doing anything that there could be a chance that I need it, I carry it with me, and it's very small. It fits in a side pants cargo pocket, or even a back pocket for pants that have a little bit larger pocket. It doesn't take up a lot of room, space, weight, or anything. And it offers a lot in the way of survival, really in the mindset of more of a primitive survival. And the reason why I'm showing you this, because I know there are tons and tons of videos of this kind of stuff all over the internet. I have watched many over the years. I've watched all kinds of these survival kits and bug out bags and EDCs and get home bags, and the one thing that I differ from the vast majority of them is that I don't like to carry a whole lot, because I've found through personal experience that it's not needed. Having a 50, 60, 70 pound backpack full of stuff, I find that most of it's just not needed. And I know that because I've actually done it before, especially when I was younger, up until just a few years ago, when, because of physical problems that I had at the time, I kind of slowed down on doing that. But I am kind of a nut when it comes to wilderness and primitive survival. I've gone through training with it. I did it when I was in Scouts and an Eagle Scout, and it's just something I've done a lot. I have several times, many times, 3-day survival trips is nothing. And when I'm talking about a survival trip for me, I'm talking about taking only the items that might fit in a small bag, not much bigger than a Ziploc sandwich bag. I've gone on up to 2-week-long survival trips, not taking a tent, sleeping bag, food or anything like that, and just completely living off the land. I've done it in the wintertime. I've done it in up north in Arctic regions, where it was 20 plus below zero at night. So I do have quite a bit of experience with this, and because of that experience, I have found that a lot of stuff that a lot of people would put into a bag, for me, it's just not necessary. I'm not going to use it. And all it does is it's adding weight, discomfort, and I'm burning more calories by taking stuff that I don't use. The one big problem, the hang up that I have with a lot of this is that everyone is really big now on all kinds of little gadgets and little things that you put in it, to help make life more comfortable. And when I am doing this, I'm not focused on my comfort level. I'm focused on what I know to be my confidence level, what I'm capable of. And so I pack my gear based on what I know that I'm capable of. I also know my area. I know the area that I'm at, and I know it quite well and what is available. I know how to eat from the wilds in my area. I know where to find water, and I know that water is fairly readily available. And I also know that we don't leave very often, and when we do leave, we don't go off very far. The closest town, big city, and when I say big city, I'm meaning in the neighborhood of 170,000 population, is about 2 hours away from us. And we might go there once a year, maybe. Usually, on an average month, the furthest we go from the house is maybe 15, 20 miles. And so I know that if I'm doing some kind of get home, then that is probably the distance that I'm going to go. Now, if we're planning on going on a longer trip, I might take more gear. And I usually do have a larger backpack in the vehicle. But there is a place for just a small kit that I will show you here in a minute. What if it's not the end of the world and I'm 10 miles from home and I break down and I've got to walk back home to get a different vehicle or something. And I can, everything's fine in the world. I can roll the windows up and lock the truck up and walk home. Having a little something to take with me just in case is not a bad idea. Maybe just staying one night overnight would be a kit that would take care of that. And again, I'm very minimalist in doing this. I know that what my capabilities of. I know that I can go out here in the woods and I can use what's in nature to build me a shelter and to build me a ground covering and to keep myself warm with what's out in nature. I know that there are things that I can eat out in nature, and usually not in this particular kit because it is very minimal, but in a larger kit I might put a few energy bars or something just to kind of supplement, but I'm usually not taking very much with me. So I want to get into this small, very small, minimalist survival kit. Not necessarily an EDC. It's not an everyday carry, but I do have it usually in my vehicle where I can have access to it. Or if I'm going places that I think I might need it. It's could be used as a get home bag and just a general survival kit. If you're just walking in the woods or riding a bike or you're out fishing or something like that, having something like this along is not a bad idea. So let's get to it. All right, this is my Maxpedition mini pocket pouch. You're probably all familiar with this. It's a fairly popular small pouch. It's really slightly larger than a cell phone. It's about the same height from top to bottom. The width is just a little bit longer. And of course, depending on how much stuff you stick in it, depends on the thickness of it. But let's get into this and we will show you what we have here. All right. Now, again, remember, I am focused on minimalist, and I'm focused on kind of a wilderness survival and not necessarily, bugging out for days or weeks or anything. This is just a little survival kit that could get me home. Let's just start off on this side. We have here, this is a little ferro rod. You're probably all familiar with those. This is to obviously start a fire. It has cordage on it, so you can use this if you need to. There's quite a bit there. There's enough there to help build a shelter. Here's the striker, obviously, to get things lit up. It's got, a little, probably in millimeters there, and a little bottle opener, and it's also got a little whistle on it. It's much louder than that, but I don't want to damage your ears with the whistle. So there's one way to start fire. Obviously, I keep a little Bic lighter. Realistically, that's the best way to start a fire. And if I'm only going to be gone for a couple of days, if I'm only having to survive for a couple of days, this is going to probably be what I use. These other things are backups. This is going to end up being my primary source, but they don't last forever. And if they get wet, well, it's kind of difficult to use them when they're wet. So there's that. Then I have a light source. This is a little Streamlight knockoff. It's not the real kind of Streamlight, but I don't know if you can tell, but it's pretty bright. It's not going to blind someone. It's not. I carry better flashlights than that. This is just survival. I can clip it to my hat with this little clip here, and it's very small. It does give out pretty good light. I think that if I remember correctly, it's rated at like 150 lumens or something like that, which at night, trying to get around, find your way in the woods, around a little campsite, it's certainly enough. One of the reasons why I like this is it's cheap. And if you want to get the Streamlight one, that's fine. But I have had several of these cheap knockoffs, and honestly, I can't tell much difference between them and the Streamlight. I have washed this in my pants pockets several times, and it still functions fine. It's been dropped. It's been abused. And like I said, I have several of them, and I have put them through the ringer, literally, and they still work. So I think you can get these on Amazon for like $5 or something like that. Anyways, moving on, I have a bandana. All survival kits should have a bandana. This is good for filtering water. Yeah, I know you probably like this maybe. This was given to me at the Ozarks Homesteading Expo. A guy there that was a vendor, and he was handing them out. So I thought I would stick it in there for this video. Anyways, you can obviously use it to kind of help clean out some dirty water. Really for me though, I'm going to use it maybe to wrap around my neck to cool it. You know, dip this in some water and kind of help keep your neck cool. To wipe your face. If it gets dusty or something, you could use it along your face or make a headband out of it, keep the sweat out of your hair. But it can also be used as bandage for an injury, or make a sling out of it for your arm if you've injured your arm. So, you know, every survival kit, every kit like this should have a bandana. They're super cheap, so why not? And there's a lot of use for them. This one here, I picked this up mostly because I thought it was kind of cool for the price, and it really has a lot in it. I was kind of surprised. A lot of these little kits like this are kind of gimmicky, and this one's tiny. I mean, you can see there's just not much to it, but there's actually a lot in it. It's a little fishing kit. Let me open this up here and show you. Okay, so we've got some hooks. Let's see, I don't even remember, what is it, like 5 hooks there, 4 or 5 hooks, a few different types of little sinkers, some little swivels. Not a bad little kit there to start off with. It has 50 feet of fishing line. So you've got 50 feet of fishing line right there, and it looks like a little rubber band. I guess you could use that for something. A little bobber. All right, float. There's a few different lures in it, little jigs, little fly that you could use. And then it's got some of this, let me get it out, some of this like salmon egg stuff, you know, smelly stuff, to be also used as bait. So, you know, around here there is water everywhere. There's creeks, streams, ponds, all kinds of stuff. So if you're out and you get hungry and you have something like this, you can find food. All right, I think, yes, in this little pocket here, I have a spare battery for the flashlight. You know, for this kind of application, I would prefer these kind of batteries. You know, the rechargeable ones are great, but they tend to lose their charge if they're not being used. And these standard batteries can last up to 10 years. And so for this kind of application, I prefer this kind of standard batteries. All right, and that's it for that side. Moving over here, obviously, this is a knife. This is just a common, simple, it's not even a speed-assisted little camelus, but it's got a good blade to it, and it's just a good size for small use. I do have a Swiss Army knife that I occasionally keep in something like this, but I was using it, and I think I stuck this in there. I'm not sure I remember the reasons why. But anyways, either one works so that you can have a little blade, and it is quite sharp. And it's a pretty good quality steel. I don't know if you can see that. Pretty good quality steel for a little kind of cheap knife, and it holds a pretty good edge. All right, this one here, this is where we get into more of the primitive survival. And I stuck this in here because I have a few of these and I like them. This is a flint striker, okay, and I'll make a video showing more about these. You could also use it as a weapon. That's kind of like almost like a you know, brass knuckles there. Anyways, this is a flint striker. You would strike this on flint to create spark to start a fire. Here in the Ozarks, there is flint everywhere, so I don't carry flint in something like this. In a bigger pack, I would carry a few pieces of flint to get me started, but I can guarantee you, in a 10-mile radius of where I live, I can find flint all over. It's just everywhere. So I'm not worried about finding flint to use with this, and it's just another method to create spark. And I'll do a video on flint and steel and making charred cloth and all that kind of stuff. All right, we're getting close to the end. Let's see. All right. We have a Ziploc baggie. The Ziploc baggie is going to be used to collect water. And then inside the Ziploc baggie, I have a little bit of dryer lint for fire starter. And then I have a few Band-Aids. I don't keep much. Again, the intent of this is to just hold you over for 24 to 48 hours to maybe get you home, get you out of a bad situation, just the minimal survival. Because you're going to be using the stuff out in the wild to aid you in your survival. You're not carrying too much. It's something you can just keep in your pocket. It's pretty simple. So we've got bandages, dryer lint, and then we've got a bag here to collect water. And then I see, oh, I do have this. Obviously, can't go anywhere without duct tape. Duct tape wrapped around an old card. And then the last thing, a piece of heavy-duty aluminum foil. Takes up almost no space and weight at all. This is, I think, around 2 foot, 18 inches to 2 foot. And because it's the heavy-duty kind, I can fold it in half and make it into a little bowl, some type of little pan or bowl, so that when I collect water out of a little creek or stream or something here, and if it's dirty, I run it through here, and then after I've collected it here, and then I take this and make it into a little bowl and set it on some hot coals that I've started with this. And once it gets boiling, I have water to drink. Quite simple. Takes up very little room, very little space. I couldn't tell you how much something like this would cost if you bought it all, because some of this stuff, you know, I've had for years. But I can tell you that it would not be very expensive to put together a kit like this. I understand it's not as robust as some other kits, but for me, I'm not looking for a thing that's, you know, when you fold it up, it's this thick and it's bulky and it has all this stuff that I'm not going to use. I'm looking for a very basic minimalist, probably going to be used in tandem with what I would already be carrying on my body at all times anyways. And there's enough here that if I need to build a little shelter in the wild at night, build me a fire, heat me some water, catch me some food, you know, forage for some stuff and make a little soup. I could do all that with everything that's in this kit. And I don't have to be carrying around a 20, 30, 50, 70 pound pack. So think about that. Think about that when you are building your kits. You need some experience. You need to go out. It doesn't hurt to go out. Everyone should in their lifetime at least a few times go out and truly survive. When I was in Scouts, we called it a ditty bag. I don't know why, but it was a bag probably not much bigger than something like this. And the deal was the only thing that we could take is what would fit in that little ditty bag. And we would go out and we would go survival camping for 2 or 3 nights. And I'm telling you, it opens your eyes. It puts your skills to the test, and you have to really, truly live off the land. And everyone should do that at least once or twice in their lifetime. All right, folks, hope you liked this. Have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.